Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha. Krishno Rakshatu no Jagatraya Guruhu. Krishnam Namasyamyaham. Krishne Namarasyatravo Vinihataha. Krishnaya Tasmai Namaha. Krishna Deva Samutthidam Jagadidam. Krishnasya Dasosmiham. Krishne Tishtati Sarvametadakhilam. He Krishna Samrakshama. Jai Sri Narayana. With blessings of Sri Chinna Swamiji, we are continuing Bhagavad Gita Yajna. Now, chapter 4, we are in sloka 30. We finished sloka 31. We'll start with sloka 32. I'll share my screen. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, let us chant. Evam bahuvidha yajnaha.
Evam bahuvidha yajnaha
Vitata brahmano mukhe.
Vitata brahmano
brahmano mukhe
Karmajan vidhitan sarvan.
karmajan vidhitan sarvan
sarvan
Evam jnatva vimoksyase.
evam jnatva vimoksyase.
Chant together.
evam
Evam bahuvidha jnana
vitata
brahmano mukhe
karmajan
karmajan
vidhitan sarvan. Evam
evam
jnatva
jnatva vimoksyase.
vimoksyase. Jai Sri Narayana. So in the previous slokas, Lord Krishna mentioned various activities that can be performed as yajnas, right? So again, please review the previous slokas. So after giving all those vikarmas or various karmas that can be performed as yajnas, or how they can be performed as yajnas, Lord Krishna is continuing in this sloka 32. He's saying, Evam bahuvidha yajnaha. Thus, various kinds of yajnas, vikarmas performed as karma yoga, brahmanaha mukhe vitataha. Vitataha is spread out, okay? Have been spread out in or as the means of attainment of Atma. So all those various forms of yajnas, various kinds of karma yogas or yajnas. Karma yoga and yajna are synonymous. Various kinds of yajnas are the means of attainment of self or Atma or Jiva, all are synonyms. So they're all the means of attainment of the self or self-realization. And Lord Krishna is saying, Tan sarvan karmajan vidhi. Karmajan vidhi tan sarvan, he said. No, vidhi is no. All of them as born from the karmas. Karmajan, born from the karma. Okay, born. So the karma here refers to daily and periodic activities, nitya and naimitika karmas. So all the yajnas that are mentioned earlier, which are performed as service to God, they are all born from the nitya naimitika karmas. Okay. Evam jnatva vimokshase. Very simple words. So after knowing this, evam gyatva. After knowing in this manner, we don't stop there, right? Once we know, we practice them. So after we know that these are the yajnas that are born from the karmas, the nitya naimitika karmas, we practice them. After knowing that, these are the ones that are the means of attaining self-realization, okay, we practice them. So after we know and practice them, we moksha say, one gets liberated from karmic bondage. Okay, so yajnas are the means to attain self-realization, right? So after knowing that, we practice those yajnas, we get liberated from the karmic bondage. Okay. So one thing we need to see here is that these yajnas are performed based on our nitya naimitika karmas. You don't have to change whatever is assigned to us. We perform the activities that are assigned to us. Based on our karma, based on the activities that are assigned to us, the nitya naimitika karmas, we perform them as karma yoga with the knowledge of the self, right? Supported by the akarma, that is knowledge of the self, as service to God. That basically liberates us from the karmic bondage. Okay. So it is not that, okay, one of the activities is to do actual yajna, right? The priests are sitting around Homakunda and then performing the yagam, right? So that is one of the yajnas. So we don't have to do that activity if it is not assigned to us. To whoever it is assigned, they can perform it as a karma yoga. It is not necessary that we have to change our nitya naimitika karmas in order to perform that as a karma yoga, right? So it is, that's why it is simple. We don't have to change ourselves. I mean, in the sense that if the activity that is assigned to me is let us say business activity or kshatriya or protection of the people, for example, Arjuna, he doesn't have to change and become a priest, right? Arjuna doesn't have to become a priest, or a priest doesn't have to become a soldier. So it is an activity, whatever karma is assigned to us based on our birth, right? We are born into a particular family, in a particular society with certain sets of responsibilities, right? We perform the nitya naimitika karmas related to that birth. Now, those nitya naimitika karmas can be performed as karma yoga. So karmajan vidhitan sarvam. That's so these yajnas are born from the karma that is assigned to us. Okay, and we perform them in order to get liberated. So we know the knowledge is that it is a means to attain self-realization. And if we perform them with that knowledge, practice them perfectly, the karma yoga, then we are going to be liberated. So in the what we have learned so far is that yajna is a component of is a combination of two aspects or two elements. One is the material karma element, and the other one is the knowledge or jnana element. Right? So every activity that we do, if we are performing it as yajna, one is the actual material activity that we do perform, right? We're performing with some material action that is supported by the jnana. So there are two aspects to any work that we do. If we are doing only with a materialistic mind, with the material, we are performing the activity without the knowledge of the self, then it does not become yajna. If we are performing the same activity with the knowledge of the self, as service to God, it becomes yajna. So there is a knowledge part that is supporting the karma. Okay, so karma, the materialistic aspect, plus the jnana that is supporting the karma, it becomes yajna. Okay, so now, so these are the two aspects. So which is superior, right? That's a kind of question. I mean, what is more important there? Okay, the materialistic aspect is more important, or the jnana part is more important, or which is superior?
Jnana part is superior.
Yes, jnana part is superior, and why we would see. So in the following slokas. Any questions on this?
I have a question, Andy.
Sure.
So we've been talking about like any action you do, think that you're performing it for God, right? I was wondering, how do we prepare ourselves to say that to ourselves? I mean, we perform so many actions in a day, but every action, I mean, it's like we have to remind ourselves every time, okay, I'm performing this for God. How do we prepare that for ourselves?
Yeah, it's so basically it is God's activity that we are doing. Okay, any activity that we do is not an activity that that is my activity. It is God's activity that we are doing. How do we prepare? This is how we prepare, like based on the knowledge that is given to us, right? So why are we doing this activity? Any activity is, this is God's activity that is assigned to me. I am just an instrument in performing the activity. So that's the first thing.
Okay.
So I am just an instrument. Whose activity it is? Paramatma's activity. Okay. And what is the purpose of this activity? In order to serve Paramatma. It is service to Paramatma, not to serve ourselves or serve somebody else as a body, or right. So if we are preparing food, it is we are preparing food for Paramatma, a service to Paramatma. Okay, to offer it to Paramatma. Now, I don't know if I'm making sense. So like we have to relate. So there, Brahmarpanam Brahma Havihi, that sloka gives us the framework. So for any activity that we do, right, there is material. We use the material, isn't it? That material is, pervaded by Paramatma. So you see Paramatma in that material. Okay. When, I mean, there is Jiva and Paramatma. in that material everywhere around us, including ourselves, right? So we see Paramatma in the material. We use some instrument do the activity. Either our body is an instrument, or our body uses certain instruments, like when we are cooking. We use certain utensils, some knife or something else. So any instrument that we use is pervaded by Paramatma. Okay. Paramatma is giving me the energy to do the activity. So I'm just an instrument in the hands of Paramatma. So I'm preparing myself in the way that, okay, it is Paramatma who is making me perform this activity. Okay. And I'm doing it as an offering to Paramatma.
Yeah, that's what makes it difficult for me to think every time.
Right.
Whenever I
so
do a job. Yeah.
So it is very difficult. So whenever we do any activity, we have to see Paramatma in everything related to the activity, and see ourselves as an instrument in the hands of Paramatma, doing the activity. That activity belongs to Paramatma and the result belongs to Paramatma. We do it as an offering to Paramatma. And then we accept it as an offering to Paramatma in us. So when, let us say, we cook the food, whatever food we prepare, when we are eating, Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. When before we start eating, we just say that Krishna Arpanamastu. So then we are connecting everything to Paramatma only. Okay. So then whatever activity that we are doing, it becomes Yajna.
Does it come like with practice, maybe? Like you keep doing, remembering?
Yes.
God.
Yeah, that's what Lord Krishna is saying. So we have to keep practicing it. It is not going to come just with theoretical knowledge. Whatever I just mentioned is just theory. I mean, it's difficult to practice. We keep forgetting it, right? So we continue to practice. When we become perfect, that's when we reach a state of self-realization. Right? So we have to continue to practice.
Right.
If let us say I'm doing an activity like cooking, and then saying, "Oh, this food, I like it so much. I need to enjoy it." That's it. I mean, we are not doing it as yajna. We are doing it for ourselves. We are thinking we are body, and this body is going to enjoy. The body that consists of indriyas, or the senses, are going to enjoy the food. So if you think that way, then we are not doing it as yajna. If you are preparing it as a service to Paramatma, he is the one who is going to enjoy, not us. Okay, it is for his enjoyment that we are cooking. Of course, we eat it, but it is for his enjoyment. We first offer it, in our home temple, and then we consume it as an offering to Paramatma in us. Because even when we are eating, that eating is also an activity as an offering to Paramatma only. It's not like I am feeding my body. Okay, so whatever we feed is also going to Paramatma only. That food doesn't come to the body unless Paramatma acts on it.
Right.
Food is going to be like food only unless Paramatma acts on it. Food will become poison actually if Paramatma doesn't act on it.
Right.
So we then we basically reach a state where we see Paramatma in every activity, and first is Jivatma, right? We see Atmas everywhere, and Atma is also supported by Paramatma. So then our focus goes all the way to Paramatma. It doesn't stop with Jivatma.
Okay. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. Okay. So we'll move on to the next sloka. Start sharing screen. Let's chant. Sloka 33. Sreyan dravyamaya yajnat
श्रेयान् द्रव्यमयाज्ञात्
jnana yajna parantapa
ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप
sarvam karmakhilam partha
सर्वं कर्माखिलं
jnane parisamapyate.
ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते
Let's chant together.
श्रेयान् ज्ञानयज्ञः परन्तप सर्वकर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते
So we saw that a yajna consists of two aspects. The dravya aspect or the material aspect, and second is jnana aspect, okay, or the knowledge aspect. Now, so Lord Krishna is saying, hey Parantapa, O Arjuna, dravyamayat yajnat jnana yajnah sreyan. Okay. So Lord Krishna is saying, knowledge element of yajna, jnana yajna sreyan. So knowledge element of yajna is superior to the material element of yajna or aspect of yajna. Okay. So the jnana part makes all the difference. Okay. So how do we understand this? So we have the jnana and the karma, the active material, material activity that we perform, as part of the yajna. Now, the material aspect is a variable aspect, isn't it? It is varying, depending on the person, depending on the situation. Okay. So, but the jnana part is constant, right? Jnana is, we are doing it with the knowledge that we are Atma, and this is for Paramatma, right? As a service to Paramatma. This is not, I, me, mine is not going to be there, right? So all that we learned. So that is the akarma part. So the knowledge aspect is constant, irrespective of the material aspect. Okay. So it is if you just do it as a material aspect, it is going to bind us. Okay. If you just do it as dravya yajna, dravya aspect of the yajna is going to bind us. So for example, if I'm donating money, okay, donation is a good activity. Donating money to needy people is a good activity. It's not bad, right? So that is using the material, money as a material, and I'm doing the donation. Now that activity, if I don't do it supported by the akarma, the knowledge part, right? Then what happens is the donation is also going to bind us. Okay. So any activity, any material aspect of the yajna is going to bind if we don't support it with the jnana. So jnana part is a necessary aspect. It's necessary for us to make sure that the activity that we do is not going to bind us. So it is, that's why it is superior. Okay, it is primary, it's superior part of yajna. Okay, so Lord Krishna is saying dravya mayat yajnat jnana yajnaha sreyan. Okay, so and then Lord Krishna is saying, hey Partha or Arjuna, sarvam akhilam karma. Okay, sarvam akhilam is kind of synonyms. So sarvam karma is every action. Okay, akhilam, performed in totality without any violation or fault, right? So we are performing the action, that action is performed without any fault, then jnane parisamapyate, it culminates in knowledge. Okay, knowledge of the self. The jnana here is knowledge of the self. Okay, so then what happens is that jnana stands out, leaving the material action part. Okay, so your focus is on going to be on jnana part. You don't care about the material aspect anymore. These material aspects are temporary in nature. Okay, whatever activities that you basically from morning to night, you're doing various kinds of activities, nitya and nitya karmas as yajnas. The material aspect is variable, changing, temporary, right? But the jnana is constant. So in all the activities, okay? So all these activities culminate in the knowledge only. You're basically let us say if I'm getting something out of it, right? If I'm performing the activities from morning to night, whatever I'm getting is at the end of the day, I am getting the knowledge. My knowledge is basically enhanced or strengthened or established. It is not the material. The material is always temporary. It is going, right? So when we are performing these activities, the karma yoga, or yajnas, it culminates in knowledge. Hope you got it. It strengthens our knowledge.
So,
okay.
So, I think that's where Arjuna got confused too, right? He misinterpreted Bhagavan's message that he should not do karma at all.
Exactly. Yeah, so we think that if I'm performing the action, I'm not getting the knowledge. That's incorrect. Actually, that action is leading me to the knowledge only.
Right.
Perfect, Jeeyar, thank you so much. Yeah, so the material action is going to be, it is temporary. We'll not even focus on it. It's gone, right? What is going to remain with us is the jnana part. So those actions are a way of acquiring knowledge, right? We perform the activity. Through those activities, we are getting the knowledge of self. Our knowledge of the self is getting established. Okay, so it becomes firm, in us. So, and finally we get self-realization. So it is not that we are not getting the knowledge when we are performing the activity. So we may think that, oh, I should be sitting somewhere and then just meditating, trying to get the knowledge, right? In order to get the knowledge. But no, that is not necessary. We can perform the yajna, the activities as yajna, which finally lead to knowledge only. And this is our swadharma. That's what Lord Krishna said. Like this is more easy for us to do. Okay, because we will not be able to sustain without doing nitya naimittika karmas, right? So whatever nitya naimittika karmas you are doing, you have to do it as yajna. When we do it as yajna, then finally we get knowledge only, or it culminates in knowledge. Jnane parisamapyate. Okay, so this is the knowledge. The knowledge is superior. So we have to work, with the support of the knowledge. So next sloka, Lord Krishna mentions about how we get the knowledge. Knowledge of the self. Any questions?
So basically, perform any action like devoting to God. That's what gives the knowledge. That's what it means. Like a
Right.
devotion to God.
Yeah, our knowledge of the self, the knowledge of Paramatma strengthens if we perform the activity as service to God. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So, again, just want to repeat again, because this is where a lot of confusion for people is. It is not necessary to change what we are doing. We can continue to do our nitya naimittika karmas, and we are on equal path to get the knowledge of the self. Person A has different nitya naimittika karmas from person B, right? But if both of them are performing their individual nitya naimittika karmas as yajnas, both of them are equally going towards gaining the knowledge, or both of them are equally gaining the knowledge. So it is not the material aspect that is important there. The knowledge aspect that is supporting that material knowledge, material aspect, is more important. Okay, so we don't. This is a confusion that a lot of people have in terms of, oh, okay, I need to change. I need to nowadays. I mean, this is not in those days, but nowadays, oh, I need to change the religion because they allow me to do this kind of activities. Like anybody, like the priests in that religion. So you don't have to do those things, right? It doesn't mean that, like, if whether you're a priest or not a priest, doesn't matter. You are doing your activities as service to God. You are on equal path to reach Paramatma, or get liberation. There is no discrimination. Lord does not discriminate between one person A doing a type of nitya naimittika karmas from person B doing another type of nitya naimittika karmas. Okay, so as long as both of them are done as a service to God, they are equal. All yajnas are equal. I mean, of course, the knowledge aspect varies. So that's where the difference could be, but not the, it is, if you should not discriminate by just looking at the material aspect, is what I'm saying.
So on the other hand, what was basically, if somebody doesn't perform the karma as karma yoga, then the gnana part will not be coming to them.
Right.
That's
They're not applying the jnana, so they don't get the jnana, right? So, for example, if I am remembering from morning to evening, why I'm doing this activity, how am I doing this activity, for whom I'm doing this activity, right? So then my that knowledge is strengthening. I will not forget the next day, right? If I don't, right? I mean, so maybe I'm not doing it that consistently, or I'm not doing it all with that jnana part. Then I'm continuing to treat myself as body. I'm doing it. It is for me. The result is for me. This is my activity, right? So then I'll be affected by raga, dvesha, and will be getting the karmic bondage associated with that activity. Whether even if it is a noble activity, still I get the karmic bondage. Okay?
So I would also rephrase it like, let's say I work in a business intelligence community. So data with an intelligence in it is actionable or something like that. So any data you have, it has to have some kind of intelligence. Similarly, whatever action we do, we have to carry that God realization in our activity.
Right. Yes. Serve all beings as service to God. Again, Sri Swamiji has given us the message. So if we just remember that, whatever activity that we are doing it as service to God. That's
the toughest part.
Yes. Yeah.
That's the toughest part.
I'm hoping it comes with practice. Like whenever we do something, maybe think like offering to God. And then
what happens once you get your first experience, from there onwards, it becomes a lot easier. That will automatically come. We don't have to do anything. Just keep on attending satsangs, do the right things. It will automatically happen. Then, we see the results and we will be very encouraged to go in that path.
Right. And Lord Krishna actually answered the question, how do we get this jnana? Okay, so let us see that sloka, the next sloka. Sloka 34. Tadvidhi pranipatena
Tadvidhi pranipatena
pariprasnena sevaya
Pariprashnena sevaya
upadeksyanti te jnanam
upadekyanti te
upadekyanti te
gnanam
jnanam
jnaninas tattvadarshinaha.
gnaninas
gnaninas
tattvadarshinaha
tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekyanti te jnanam gnaninas tattvadarshinaha.
So how do we get the jnanam? That is the primary question that we have, right? The jnanam that supports the karma, because jnana is superior, and nobody has to teach us what is nitya naimittika karmas. We all know, right? So, but the jnana part is missing for us. So how do we get it? Who is going to give it to us? Okay. So Lord Krishna said, Tat Vidhi, learn that Atma Jnanam. Okay. How? Pranipatena, by complete prostration. Sashtanga Namaskar. Okay. By doing the Sastanga Namaskara prostration, pariprasnena, by proper clarification of doubts with questioning. We will go slightly detail. Pranipatena, pariprasnena, sevaya, by dedicated service to acharyas, to those, to tattvadarshinaha jnaninaha. So tattvadarshinaha is those who have realized the reality or truth, who see the reality. Tattvadarshi. Okay, and jnaninaha is wise. So we need to physically, physically bend down, show our obedience, okay, to the wise, to those acharyas who have realized this particular knowledge. Okay, so when we, pranipatena, so when we prostrate, I mean, when people think, oh, why do we have to do it, right? When Acharya is in front of us, we have to prostrate in front of Acharya when we see Acharya. Doesn't matter whether Acharya is on a road somewhere or in a ground or in temple. Whenever we see Acharya, we have to do the Sastanga Namaskar. Okay, and the rule is we should not get up till Acharya says get up. But of course, it's not practically possible for Acharya to say that. So we do the Sastanga Namaskar and get up. So basically it is showing our obedience, that reduces arrogance in us. When we bend down, we are reducing our arrogance. I am, I am going to receive your message. Okay, that is I'm not arrogant. I'm not going to reject your message. I'm going to receive your message. Please bless the message to me. So that is the physically we are showing by that gesture of prostration. Okay. Then pariprasnena. So this is very important. Typically, when someone is asking a question, they want to show that they understood, right? Okay, so they're intelligent. I understood. I am intelligent. I want to show off, to other people. That is the kind of question somebody may ask. With that intention, somebody may ask a question to show their presence and their intelligence. Okay, it's not about getting the knowledge. They already might have got the knowledge, but they want to ask a question just to as a show off, kind of, right? Or somebody may ask a question to declare that they are paying attention. So basically, the worst is they may ask a question to check if the Acharya or Guru knows about it. Okay, has nothing to do with the learning process, but you are checking the Guru, whether he knows or not, or he or she knows. So that is not pariprashna. Okay, pariprashna is basically asking a question to get the clarification, to enhance our learning, to practice. If I'm not going to practice that, if it is not helping me in practice, then the question is meaningless. You are just testing the Acharya, right? See, I'm learning something to practice. knowledge is useless if you don't practice, right? So if I'm asking a question to get some clarification, that should lead me to practice. I should be willing to practice. Now, let us say I have a doubt that perfect question is how do I practice was the question today, right? So that is a good question, right? I want to practice it, but I need more clarification. Can you please clarify? So that is the pariprashna. Okay. So with those, with questioning, see again, acharyas don't give the entire knowledge, may not give entire knowledge in the first cycle. When the student or the disciple asks a question, that's when then they will elaborate. So this is where the pariprashna comes into picture. So the first cycle will be, maybe high level, and then some students may have a doubt on, oh, okay, they didn't understand completely, or they didn't understand completely in order to apply that knowledge. So they ask clarification. Then Acharya may go into the details. So that is pariprashna and sevaya. So basically, the whoever is getting this knowledge, okay, they are they are getting this valuable knowledge, right? So they're indebted. I mean, they show, they want to show their what's the right word? They want to show their gratitude, right?
Obedience.
Right. So see, we Acharya is giving the knowledge, so we physically prostrate in front of Acharya. They give the knowledge, and then we are asking questions, and then Acharya is giving more clarification or elaboration, and then we need to show our gratitude, right? So Acharya provides some opportunities for service. So whoever is getting this knowledge is serving Acharya, not just Acharya, but the whatever is the mission of Acharya, right? So they are doing that service, that is sevaya. So these are the three very important. So if we don't do these three, that knowledge will not be getting that knowledge. By these three, we will be getting the knowledge, is what Lord Krishna is saying. Okay. If we are doing these three, then the wise and the learned, they will upadekshanti te jnanam. They will teach you the knowledge. Okay. If you don't show obedience, okay, if you don't ask the questions properly, or if you don't serve, then we don't get the knowledge from acharyas. To do this, then we will get the knowledge. That knowledge is going to be firm with us. Even if, let us say, someone is not showing their obedience in receiving the knowledge, even if the acharya gives the knowledge, they won't get it. They will reject it. Okay. So that is the primary thing. So once again, this entire knowledge of Bhagavad Gita is given to Arjuna because he showed this quality, these three qualities, right? He said, I'm your servant. I'm your disciple. And he prostrated in front of not physically, he expressed his obedience right? So then only Lord Krishna gave this message to Arjuna. If Arjuna was like, okay, I'm not going to listen to you. I mean, even if he like if he asks, but if if he's in a kind of a hurry and he doesn't want to get the message, then Lord Krishna won't have given. And that is the reason, one of the reasons why it took 90 years to give this message to for Lord Krishna, because nobody was showing these three qualities to get this knowledge. So when we do these three to our Acharya, right? Pranipatena Pariprasnena Seviya, then Acharya will give this knowledge to us. That will be more established in us, will be more usable for us. Okay, so what we need to do is, again, this came in previous places also, Shravanam, Mananam, and Abhyasa. These are the three that go together. Shravanam is listening, Mananam is recalling, remembering it and recalling continuously, and Abhyasa is practice. If you don't do these three, then again the knowledge, whatever we listen, will not be able to convert to practice, or we may forget, right? So we need to continuously keep listening to the message. That's why it is given here as upadekshanti, as a plural. So we continuously listen to the message, continuously recall it, and continuously practice it. Okay.
Prasad Garu,
Okay.
Pranipatena is literal meaning is sastanga or bending, bowing. So in
Right.
other words, like a surrendering to Guruji or Paramatma.
Yes. Yeah. Physically surrendering. I mean, so you're showing that obedience, bending in front of someone is a physical obedience, right?
Yeah.
Surrendering mentally also, we have to surrender.
Okay.
Hello.
I have a question.
Hello, Varaprasad Garu. This is Kalpana Venkatraman.
Just a minute.
First time I am participating today. And
Thank
Balaji
you.
Garu knows that I am one of his students that asks questions in his class. And therefore, it just jumped at me. By the way, I speak Tamil and I don't speak Telugu. I don't know Sanskrit. I don't know Hindi. So I try my best to learn the pronunciation. So this word pariprasnena, and your explanation asked the question properly. It sort of made me think that someone needs to have a good skill set, even to ask the question properly. They may be innocent and they may ask the question in certain way, although they are innocent in asking that question, but the choice of their words and their expressions could mean other way. And so that sort of concerns me, because I am a person that would just jump and ask questions. I don't think about like the words and stuff. I just ask when something just hits my head. So can you please help me understand how to ask the question properly without hurting the teacher, my guru?
So it's not a question of hurting the teacher. It's a question of whether the question is useful or not. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So if the question is it again, probably words may not be that important also. I mean, as long as the overall intention and the meaning is, you are asking the question to get clarification so that you can practice it. You're not testing the Acharya, or you're not showing off your knowledge. Then it is fine, right? So it is to get more clarity in order to practice. Right? So that's all. So if it is testing Acharya or showing off that, oh, I am present here, I'm the greatest of the entire class, I need to ask the question, that kind of a thing, then Acharyas will recognize that and say that, I don't have to answer this. So they may not elaborate. Okay. Or they may say, okay, we'll talk to you later. Right?
Okay.
So if it is useful for that person, then Acharyas will answer. Okay.
Thank you so
that's
much.
what the Lord Krishna is saying here is, for all the questions that Arjuna asked are pariprashnena only, right? In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna never said, okay, it's a useless question, I will answer, I will not answer, or things like that. Right? So he showed obedience, he showed how I can, I'm confused, explain to me more so that I'll be able to understand better and practice it. So with that intention, if we ask, then it should be fine.
Got it.
Words may not be that important.
Okay, thank you so much for clarifying.
Thank you.
Prasad Garu, I have a question. Okay? So
Sure.
there are three things, right? Pranipatena is where you go to the Guru. Pariprashnena is you're asking the question in a proper format and a proper way. And Sevaya is you're doing a seva. Upadekshanti te jnanam is where after the delivery of the jnanam is done to you. And the last word it says is jnani nastatva darshinha. What does that mean?
Oh, it is Jnaninaha Tattvadarshinaha. The wise, Jnaninaha is the wise. Tattvadarshina is those who see the reality. Okay, basically Acharyas. Okay, so Acharya or Guru who have the knowledge and who have practiced it. Okay, it's not just someone who just read the book. Okay, who is in practice. Okay, so then they will be able to they will give this knowledge to whoever is seeking that knowledge. Okay, yeah. So we have to do this. Prostrate to the Acharya and seek clarifications from Acharya when they're giving the message. Listen to them first, seek clarifications to get more information, and with proper questioning, and then perform the service to the Acharya. So then the Acharyas will, then you get the knowledge. They will teach you and you will get the knowledge. This is what Lord Krishna is saying. So this is the means of getting the knowledge. It is not just reading a book. In our, Vedic culture, just reading the book is not going to give us the proper knowledge. We may get some knowledge, but it is not completely usable. Okay, so we have to approach an Acharya to get the message. Okay, so let's go to sloka 35. Sloka 35. Yajnatva na punarmoham.
Yajnatva na punarmoham.
Evam yasyasi pandava.
Evam yasyasi pandava.
Yena bhutanyaseshena.
Yena bhutanvasheshena.
Drakshasyat Manyatho Mai.
Rakshasi
Rakshasyatvamanyatho mayi
Let's chant together.
Yajna
Yajnatva
Punarmoham
punarmoham
evam
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 yassi
yasyasi
Pandava
Pandava
Tena
tena
Bhutanya Yeshena
bhutanisheshena
Rakshasat
Rakshasyam
Anyo
mayi.
Lord Krishna is saying, Hey Pandava, Arjuna, Yet Jnatva, knowing which. So in the previous sloka, Lord Krishna said, how we get the knowledge, right? We approach Acharya and by Pranipatena Pariprasnena Sevaya, we get the knowledge from the Acharya. So knowing that knowledge, Punaha evam moham na yasyasi. You will not get delusion again. This is very important. So once you get the knowledge like that from an Acharya, then you will not get the delusion again. Okay. So what is the delusion here? The delusion is thinking that we are, the body is us, right? I am body. This is a primary delusion that we have. Of course, from that, it's everything builds up. Right? This is my activity, and whatever results that I'm getting, this is for my own, experience, my own enjoyment. So whatever I should do is also for my own enjoyment. So all this builds on that delusion. So if I get the knowledge properly from Acharya, then we will not be deluded again. Okay. Yena, by which jnanam, right? Yena is by which, and in this context, it is yena, by which jnana, the knowledge of Atma, drakshasi, is you will see, bhutani aseshena, atmani athomayi. This is very critical here. Once we get the knowledge of the self properly, what do we see? We see self or atmas in all beings, without exception. And the atma in all beings is equivalent to myself. Atmani is equal to myself. Okay. Atho mai, likewise, atho is likewise, mai. Lord Krishna is saying mai here. Okay. I mean, true translation, Sanskrit translation is in me. But here, the context is that when we get the knowledge of the self, the self in its pure form, not impacted by the prakriti, okay, free from the evil of the prakriti. That self in each of these beings is equal to you, equal to the self. Okay, if we are taking in terms of Arjuna, equal to the self of Arjuna, or the Atma of Arjuna, Atma that is in Arjuna body, and likewise equal to me, Lord Krishna. Okay, so Atma in its pure form, okay, is equivalent in all beings. It is equivalent to one another and equivalent to Paramatma. This particular concept is again explained further later also. So once we understand once we get the knowledge of the self, we will not see any differences in each of the Atmas in their pure form when they are not impacted by the Prakriti, right? So where we don't see them like when we see different bodies, each of those bodies have Atma in them, and all these Atmas are equivalent, even though the bodies are different. They're all equivalent. They're equivalent to us and also equivalent to Paramatma, not just us. Right? So all Jivatmas are equivalent, and the Jivatma in its pure form is equivalent to Paramatma. However, while these Jivatmas are here in this materialistic world, they are affected by the contact of Prakriti, right? So they are carrying the karmic bondage. They are taking a body. Okay, so they are carrying certain kind of baggage. Now, if you remove that, if you take just the pure form of the Atma, right? Then all these Atmas are equivalent. You cannot differentiate them. And one of the examples that is given is the rice, the rice grains. All of them are equivalent, right? Each grain looks same, right? So, if the same rice grain, like you see in the entire bag, it's like that. So unfortunately, we are all affected by the Prakriti. We are carrying karmic bondage, and we are taking a different body. Okay, but all of us are equivalent. When I consider myself as Atma, and I see Atma in all beings, I consider all these Atmas as equivalent. And when we get liberated, we reach a state that is equivalent to Paramatma. This is consistently explained in multiple slokas in Bhagavad Gita. So we get the Jnanam properly, and once we get the Jnanam properly, then we see everyone, every Atma as equivalent. And we understand why we have taken different bodies and how we need to get out of these.
So basically what I understood is this is just a manual for individual level, right? It helps me to purify my self-realization. And also I can see, even though I know all beings are same, Atma is same and all that, but I can still see the impurities, and this Jnanam helps me, the reason for the impurities in them. So the only which way I can, I don't think I can change anybody. It's only changing myself. Or I can be a role model. Okay, so looking at me, people can change or might change or may not. So that's how I understood. So it's only benefiting me. Of course, eventually spread the goodness.
Right. Yeah, we will, if we realize this, we will not show the discrimination.
Yeah.
I am superior compared to you. or you're superior compared to me. That kind of, I have the right to destroy this entire, as a human, I'm superior compared to all the animals. I have the right to destroy whatever I want. That kind of mentality will go away. I'm just like any other animal. The Atma in those animals is same like me in this body. The only difference is that it is carrying different kind of karmic bondage, and a certain type of karma is assigned to that particular Atma. In order to experience that karma, it got that body. Okay, I need to experience certain type of karma, so I got this body. So, but everyone is equal in that way. I mean, everyone, when I say, is not the bodies. We start seeing Atma in every being, and in pure form, all are equal. Okay, so the equality comes into picture there. We know that everyone has an equal opportunity, right? Everyone, it is not that an Atma in another body is, is not supposed to reach Paramatma. It is not like that. Every Atma has equal opportunity to reach Paramatma, irrespective of which body that Atma is taking, right? So we don't start seeing just the bodies. We start seeing the Atma, and then once we know that Atmas are equal, we start treating that body also with respect. I mean, just practically, like, when let us say we have spiders or mosquitoes, right, or cockroach. So we need to, they're disturbing us, let us say. We need to take care of them. Usually, if I if I don't think of all this, I'll just say, oh, I should just kill it, right? The mosquito or cockroaches. I don't feel like anything. It doesn't, hurt me, But as soon as I realize that, hey, there is a jiva in that also, which is exactly like me. It has the right to live, right? Then our perspective changes completely. We may not indiscriminately, kill it. We may try to, move it to some other place and then let it live first. If that is not possible, then yeah, we may, may kill it. But our approach changes completely. Same with human beings also. I mean, if we are from a different race and the other person is, based on race or color or skin or whatever, we start seeing the other body as, oh, there is a jiva in it which is exactly same as me. Then we treat with respect. We try to take care of them like we take care of ourselves. Okay. So of course, if they have certain duties, we may ask them to do it. The duties are all different. The bodies and the duties are different. But how we approach another body, how we treat another body, totally changes if we know that the Atma in that body is just like me. Right? And yeah, so I mean, I don't want to go into the other Upanishads, and yeah, so this particular jnanam will help me move towards liberation. Okay, this knowledge of that all atmas in their pure form, they're the form of knowledge. The nature of atma is knowledge. Okay, and all atmas have equal knowledge. Okay, equivalent to Paramatma. But unfortunately, because of the karmic bondage, that is not showing up. Right? So, let us say a deer may not be as intelligent as a human being. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
I think it's almost 9:30. Any other questions before we conclude?
One quick question, and Prasad Garu.
Sure.
Okay, you said treat every Atma as same, right? Well, the question is when somebody doesn't like you, that's the difficult part. Like treating them like you, same as like your Atma, right? How do we change that to think like they are like, the Atma is same like your Atma?
So, I mean, so the other person is not liking you, and maybe that is resulting in scolding you, hating you, troubling you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is the body that is doing those activities, not the Atma. Okay. So once you start differentiating between Atma and body, our perspective totally changes. We stop hating. Like, who are we hating there? Who are we? Say, for example, when someone scolds or criticizes or hates us, who is really hating us? Who is really criticizing us? It is the body that is doing. It's not the Atma, right? So they are the activities are born from the gunas that are that the person has, right? And they're influenced by the gunas, and then body is acting that way. So we will not develop permanent hatred for anybody. There is an Atma which is exactly like me, but that Atma is influenced by the Prakriti, the body, and the body is acting. So we will try to protect ourselves from the body perspective, but we will not hate the Atma.
Defend ourselves, but we don't keep anything here.
Right. We show our love to them. Okay.
Oh,
so
no,
we will,
not love. Sorry.
We will, I mean, it's not that we accept everything. Let's say somebody is really, doing harm to us or to somebody else. We need to take care of the situation.
Defend ourselves.
But that is from a body perspective, not from Atma perspective. Atma is exactly equivalent in its pure form, right? So with that, we don't develop grudge, hatred towards other people. When the body is not doing those activities, we'll be fine. So we don't develop hatred back towards them. See, when we do that, right, when we are developing hatred, anger and all this, we are actually affecting ourselves. It's not that somebody, let us say, is showing hatred towards us. They're not doing anything to us. Okay, we think something, oh, we are losing something, right? But nothing. They are not doing anything. Just the words or their state of thinking is like that. We are not losing anything or gaining anything.
Mhm.
Okay, but when we start hating back, that is when we are actually getting affected. So we should protect ourselves. It is not in their hands, actually it is in our hands,
Mm.
to make sure that we are not affected. If somebody is, of course, if someone is physically hurting us, our body is getting affected, so we have to protect that immediately.
Mhm.
But any other, like, criticism or hatred or something like that is happening, right?
Mm.
They're not taking away anything from us. Unfortunately, we think, oh, something really, we have to do something in return. We develop anger, we develop depression, anger, sadness, and all these things. Those are all our own creations,
Mhm.
not because of them. So when we control it, right? I mean, some of the concepts already we covered, we'll cover more. So when we don't show any reaction, we only respond. Reaction and response is two different things. So response only if it is needed. Reaction is, as soon as something happens, you have to react. Reaction will give us karmic bondage. Response will not give us karmic bondage.
Okay, Nandi. Thank you.
You had a
Thank you.
question, Kalpanaji, you wanted to ask her?
I had a question, but I thought I'll. Okay, let me ask. Let me just. It's only a comment, not a question, because many things that I learned today about Atma and seeing beyond, I and all, so many things in corporate world, they teach what's called as hidden bias, and some of those hidden biases are unconscious feelings towards others. Here comes a short person. Here comes an Asian, a Chinese, like there's so many different ways that our own mind would assess an individual. And that's a hidden bias. And so we see a soul in each person, then that bias doesn't exist anymore. And so it just kind of made me think what I learned today with my
Yes.
professional learning.
Very good, very good. Yes, perfectly said. Yeah, yeah. This is, I mean, a lot of these, these principles can be applied to corporate world. Some cases, they only say at a superficial level, right? But this is ground up. This is like from, if we understand the concept of Atma, it explains, for example, solution to the implicit bias that people have, right? And then a lot of other problems that corporates, unfortunately, they don't follow some of the principles that are given here. They only look at the results, not at the the actions. That's something that they need to fix. But yeah,
Absolutely. With this foundation, and you really look at your experiences in the real world, whether it is self, in a society or even in corporate, this foundation even brings the best in you in every scenario in life, it seems.
Yes, definitely. Okay, thank you so much. We'll conclude with the concluding prayer. Ayena vacha mansendeva buddhyatmana prabhute svabhavat karomi yajjat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpayami Srimanarayanaayeti samarpayami Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu Om Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha.
Jai
Jai Srimanarayana. Jai Srimanarayana. Thank you, everyone.
Jai Shri Manara, Andy. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
Srimanarayana.